the problems of Africa. Africa continent's problems are the same. For example, I'll put it this way. Look, each and every African country are facing similar problem, or I should put in a way saying same problem. For example, let's looking at leadership, as I always like to emphasize the leadership. So in leadership, we're looking at how the government, the system operates in Africa. Few hours ago, I was having a conversation with a client of mine where I was talking about the problem that we are facing in Africa, and how this problem, how they get solved easily in overseas. For example, we look at police department, and we look at court department, we look at any industry, farming and whatever you can name it, hospitality and so on, which is, I can say, any business and sector. So the issue is this: our leaders, they prioritize what they think it's worth it, is beneficial for them. And yet, the thing that they forget and what they don't realize is that, when you focus on you just feeding certain people, or maybe focus on you remaining in power without looking at the angles on how we could benefit the world, or the people, the community. Like, for example, when people, when a political person is campaigning to be in power, a political person comes with like, how can I say, they have a certain way of trying to get people to understand, to believe them. But this is not about that, and I'm not trying to say anything negative, but my point is that I'm trying to say, when it comes to leadership, let it be leading in a sense of giving an awareness of saying, hey, what if someone else was leading. So I'm gonna get into actually to a fact. This is the thing: a police in Africa, they don't earn much. A police earn less than any other regular jobs, and yet the police officers expected to actually do their job properly and be able to arrest people and do all these things to make sure people don't commit crimes and stuff like that. So I feel like that's where the failing of the government begins, because I think police and the soldiers, if they can be able to earn at least a better minimum wage that can help them to be able to provide for their family members, that will actually really help. And also that will actually help to get these people to be trusted, because like these days in Africa, in South Africa in particular, I trust security guard more than a police officer. The reason being is that, because these days you don't know if the police officer is a real police or not, or if it's a good one or it's a bad one, because we have majority people, we have many police officers who don't really follow the rules, who don't do what is right and so on. But this is not the issue, the topic I'm trying to talking about. I just thought I should bring this up. But my point in what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to raise is that I feel like all the African countries are facing same problems, same issues, in a sense that the leaders, the money is being circulating around few people. I feel like this is being done to, in order for them to wanna claim to have a power, to control, to put everybody in their pocket, to make sure people, they get to be desperate, because when you're desperate you do anything. And to those who have, of course, you make sure you can respect them in a certain way of desperation, of you just doing whatever it takes to be able to survive. Okay, facts. Next thing, it goes like this. How I feel. How do I feel about the development in the cities? I'm going to talk about Cape Town. I feel like the development in Cape Town in South Africa, the city is not being designed for citizen. The city in Cape Town, city of Cape Town, is being designed for international, for people from overseas in particular, people from Europe and stuff, America and whatever it is, you can name it. I think I feel like this city is designed for people from overseas. Cost of living is very high. Secondly, the local people is particularly black people. There are black, of course, they are maybe 75%, you know, they are 70% or whatever it is, because they are the almost like the huge population in South Africa. So black people are more than other races in South Africa. So minimum wage for black people in South Africa, in Cape Town in particular, I doubtly that the minimum wage is above 10,000. I would say 10,000 to be fair. Majority, probably maybe a lot of people are earning like 10,000, 13, 14, 15, 16. Those who are earning 20,000, I don't know what kind of job. Even those who are actually working in an office, they're not even making the 20K. They're earning 15,000, 14,000, 16,000. What would you do with that if the rent accommodation is maybe 10,000, 8, 9,000, and yet you earning 16,000? If the rent is 10,000, at least you must earn about 50,000 or 60,000, so that at least you pay rent, you pay bills, electricity, and so on. You still left with something. So I'm just mentioning this part where I do think that that's where the seriousness of developing or of changing, of consider your people begins. Because in the politics, in a well-developed city like Cape Town in South Africa, a city that is well known worldwide, I do believe that it has to be something that can be done to actually change the way of doing things, in a sense that people, local people, citizens get to enjoy. I doubt that citizens, they're actually getting chance to actually go out there and enjoy. Going to the restaurant, who are serving in the restaurant? Who are the waiters? Who are the ones who are actually providing service in any other jobs? So the citizens, they're the ones who are actually working, they're the ones who are actually providing a service. And when are they going to get a time or a chance to actually enjoy life? Of course, they can't afford it. They can't even go out because of the minimum wage cannot really allow them to be able to do so, because of they still have bills to pay, rent and so on, or maybe pay fees and stuff for their kids. That's why you see majority live in shacks and stuff like that, because the minimum wage will not allow them to be able to do any other than that. Because when they live in a shack, they do believe that at least they'll still be left with if they pay maybe 500 rand rent, or maybe pay electricity and so on, they'll probably maybe spend like 1,000 rand or 2,000 rand, and then maybe food and stuff, maybe 3,000 rand, and then left with maybe at least of a little bit of money. Of course, people buy beers and stuff like that into just to refresh. So I do believe that as a leaders in leadership, there has to be a little bit of change of how you, the target marketing of the people. Of course, I do know that their target marketing is people who coming to university in South Africa, in Cape Town, people from overseas, people from other countries. But are they considering people, locals, to say, hey, these people, they are the ones who actually live here? They are not really considering these people, you know. So I feel like we should consider local people. We should consider them by make sure that the way we design, the way we do things, we are actually putting them in a budget so that they can be able to, you know, to survive, to be able to do activities like other people and live a normal life, not just live life of work, 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 and so on. And I feel like that's why the crime becoming so high is because of this. So if I were to be given an opportunity to be in a leadership in whatever it is, I'm just saying the first thing would be considering what is that our people need and what is that can we do to actually develop the country. This applies to all countries, could be Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, Tanzania, Congo, Nigeria, anywhere. What could be done to be able to prevent us losing our people that are talented, people with degrees, diplomas, and so on, intelligent people? What could be done to prevent losing intelligent people? Because they might, and after studying many years, they're going to develop, they're going to work in other countries, which means they will be profitable to that country, and the other country that will be profited to these people, which we could easily prevent that by saying providing services that is needed for these people to make sure after university and college they don't go outside, they can still remain in their countries. So it's very simple. I mean, what's needed, I feel like it's just a greedy. People are greedy in a sense that once they start making money on top there, they forget that they actually supposed to be leading and providing service to the people. For example, what's needed, your people need a clean water, your people need a good roads, your people need easy, transport, access to transport. Your people need access to hospitals. Your people need access to education, things like that. It's very simple to attract investors if you have a way of making sure that, look, this country, we welcome everybody, and in this country, this is what we do. We prioritize our people, and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. It doesn't really cost too much to start a small factory where you can even employ 10 people, 20 people, maybe a plastic factory, or maybe a factory of what can I say, or maybe you're starting doing anything. It's a factory, try to start a little bit of maybe a few factories in each city, maybe a factory that employ maybe about 80 people or maybe 100 people. That factory that provide a service that is needed in the country. If people are in need of maybe cooking oil, if people are in need of maybe access to transport, easy transport, that could include maybe providing Uber service, providing scooters, like deliveries, providing maybe electronic scooters, maybe providing bicycle, any services. If you look into that and say, hey, where are we failing in this country? What is that our people need in Africa, in my country? And then we developing that, investing towards that. Once we invest towards that, that's where we actually getting people to see that at least the government have a vision, at least something is happening. They employed 100 people in one city. Now they employed 100 people in another city. They employed 100 other cities. So the more the business grow, the more you want more people. So I just think that it is possible for these things to be done only when people can have a mindset of development, productivity, not a mindset of greediness. So once you remove a mindset of greediness, you are able to actually lead with a conscience of a human being love, to know that you are able to protect your people and you want to provide the service that your people need. So these are few simple things that I thought maybe I should mention. And as moving forward, I would love to talk about what could be done in the ages of this AI, in the ages of where if the world of evolving. I feel like a young people, they're actually much more intelligent and smart to be able to do a lot of things, where I feel like they're not being given opportunity to actually raise or maybe to do things they are good at, what they could do to actually be profitable for the country or maybe benefit the country. So I'll see you and I'll catch you in the next one. And I say stay blessed. This is one thing I think we should all consider. And I love you all. Take it easy. All right.